I want to talk about something that I've had thoughts about when it comes to witchcraft. When I think about all of the different rituals and um, different times of the year, different celebrations that witches, some witches, especially Wiccans, and not all Wiccans are witches. Just know that. Um, that people celebrate, like right now, Samhain is coming up, Halloween. Then there's Yule. Then there's Imbolc, and so on and so forth. And it just makes me think about, why do we do the things we do? I believe the initial belief systems have always been here in human culture, celebrating or acknowledging the seasons changing. But I feel like the reasons why we do things have been lost. And it has become more of this ritualistic style of things, but we don't understand why we do them. We don't understand what they're put in place for. Like, even with religion, it started off as something meant to be beautiful, but has since grown into something that honestly steals energy from people in a lot of ways and doesn't actually help them. Or it helps them achieve certain things, but never really the peace that we're all looking for. Some people achieve it, but most people don't. And I believe the way others achieve it is because they have unknowingly reached a place where we all naturally are born into and don't always don't get to fully experience because of how the world is, how the world works, the stresses of being a human being at this time. Um, Things like candle work and different rituals. Why do we do these things? I've thought about this over the years. I used to do different rituals and different things, and it would always be in an effort to make me feel better, to try to bring me out of whatever I was going through. But as I've kind of cooled off from those things, I feel like I don't really need them. I feel like they're great reminders of something, but reminder of what? That we have great power within us. But what do we need? Ugh, ugh. It's like I'm trying to find the words. What are we trying to remind ourselves of that we feel that we don't already have? I've been asking myself that question. So I saw a video recently, talked about Carl Jung, the therapist or whatever he was. I don't know if these are words he said. It was a video based off of some of his thoughts and beliefs and, theories or whatever, talking about how when you're seeking to heal, you're actually already in the healed space, but there's something in your mind and not accepting that you are already healed. So basically, you are already who you are. You're already okay. You're already powerful. You already have all the things that you need, but something in your mind does not allow you to see it. And so it's like you're chasing after your own tail to only find your own tail and never the thing that you actually seeking to find. And I found that very interesting because within me, I notice when I sit alone, there's an anxiety, there's a level of frustration with life, but there's a space in me that is always nagging at me, and I don't know what it is or what it wants. And it's so infuriating and infiltrating and bothersome that I find myself trying to distract myself from it. And I wonder, is it anxiety or is it whatever this internal power or knowing is? I won't say power. Power gets a bad rap because when people think of power, people think of all powerful. And so this honestly unrealistic view of what power is. Power, in my opinion, is just infinite knowing and acceptance of what is. And when you have this internal infinite knowing and acceptance, you can move through this thing we call space and time in the universe in a way that automatically folds because you're not trying to gain anything from it. Do you get what I mean? People think of power as force, but I think what power actually is the opposite of that. But anyway, I think about this thing in myself where it's a nagging feeling of some sort of something that's very overwhelming. And it kind of reminds me of, have you ever seen that movie Wanted with I can't remember his name. He's a British guy, but he was American in the movie. It had Morgan Freeman in it. It had not Jeffrey. What the hell? Angelina Jolie in it. And he was an office worker, and he dealt with crippling anxiety that he had to take pills to calm down. Excuse me, now I got the hiccups. But he realized that this anxiety was a part of an ability that he had to bend bullets with his mind and be this amazing assassin. And I don't think I'm finna be an assassin, but I think that's kind of what that is, that thing that we all kind of run from. We try to fill with goals and things and relationships and children and friendships and money and all these different things that we try to temper this nagging feeling. I think it's two parts. I think one part of it is the disconnection. Being in this human body automatically has severed a deep connection with the oneness that is of the universe. It's not completely gone, but it's not, we have to be separate in order to have this experience. And because of that separateness, it is very painful to live as a human. Not because anything's happening to you, but because you are inherently severed from yourself. And you're in this type of world where you have to live and survive, and you're just trying to make it through life, and it's hard. So that's one part of it. The other part is the part that's not severed, the part that is here with you, that's still connected to that infiniteness. But it's so big and it's so all encompassing and annoying because it not only goes against the human nature of feeling small, but it disrupts the human experience by bringing you into something beyond yourself. And that's something that the brain cannot fully comprehend. And it's annoying and frustrating. And it's funny because I can know all this and understand all this cognitively, but putting it in practice, my brain just does not compute. It's like error message 304, But it just, circling back, made me think about why we do the rituals that we do, not just witchcraft, religion, whatever. In general, we say it's a reminder of connection, but that particular connection was never severed. So what are we reminding ourselves of? That it exists? I mean, that's fair. But if we never knew about any of these things, will we already still be connected to that? If you've never heard of a religion, you've never heard of witchcraft, you've never heard of spirituality in any shape or form, would you still have that connection? And I think there are things in the world, there are forces that are actively trying to make us forget about this connection. I know that. It's not even a question. So it begs of me to ask myself, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? I've had to change my mind a lot about how I see things like power and energy and people and myself, because I feel like it's all lies. Lies being something that's based off of a truth, but has been twisted and warped and misconstrued to confuse me and make me forget about what's here right now within me. And it's something that in my solitude just will not accept anymore, but I don't know what to do about it, you know? It begs the question, I've did a video about this before. Why do we worship? What are we worshiping? And for me thus far, I've found that I worship myself because I know that there is something in me that is beyond this body. But it begs the question of why still. I don't understand why we feel the need to do that. At first, I thought it was just like programming. You know, we're human. We're made to believe that we're small and insignificant. Yet we have all these amazing abilities to alter things with our mind and with our thoughts, just like nature does, just like animals do. When you see things change in animals, how some animals have evolved to, like I saw a praying mantis evolve to look like an orchid, you know what I mean? There was a quest put in the universe of I need to be less conspicuous so I can survive out here. And the universe answered. Just like, what am I doing? What do I need to worship anything for? And I think it's one of those things where it's like you're chasing your tail. Because the more you think about a question like this, the more you find yourself only finding your tail at the end of it. Why do I need to worship anything? It honestly feels like a distraction from that thing that I was talking about earlier. That feeling inside that's so big and so powerful. Because if I turned around and faced it and saw my own face, a part of my brain just can't believe that's true. Can't believe that I am really the one pulling the strings behind this whole operation. And has a very hard time accepting that. And so because of that, we find things to worship. We find things to believe in. We find rituals to do. We constantly reaffirm and believe that we are not powerful, that we are not connected, and it's all a lie. Very interesting. Love you. Bye.